Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Georgetown High School. Here, brought to you Georgetown Baseball Live on the SHN Sports Network, presented by First Responder Broadcasting. I'm Wally Harmon, and tell you what, it's a full house tonight. We're, of course, behind the scenes, everything that works. It's because of our producer and do-it-all, my wife, Jerry Ann Harmon. But tonight in the booth, it's the full house. Kelly Duvall, Doppler Dave England. Boys, it's Friday night baseball here at Georgetown High School.
Never a bad day for baseball. The only issue tonight is going to be the wind. But it's not going to be a factor for the whole game. We'll get with Doppler Dave on that in just a little bit, but excited to watch a really good ball game tonight.
Georgetown victorious on Tuesday night, 4-3 over the Hendrickson Hawks at Hendrickson in a battle. A pitching performance by Camden Malott. He went all 7 innings, 110 pitches, struck out 10, but he got the loss. And Braden Curtin, another good performance on the mound, 5 1/3 innings, only giving up 2 runs. And then a performance by Tillman Brown to come in and close out that 6th inning, and then the door closed by Groomsy. Hayden Grooms came in off third base, shuts the door in the 7th inning, and another spectacular play by the catcher, Connor Young, a back pick at first base to erase the first base runner who reached on a drop third strike. You don't see it a lot that he gets far away from the catcher. Young took that personally, the catcher, the sophomore, and went and back picked the runner at first base, and what a big play that was. It ended up being a huge out as the tying run was at third base when Georgetown got the final out of the ball game. And Doppler Dave, I tell you what, earlier in the day they moved this game thinking the Storms are going to be here all day, and it kind of blew out. Maybe a good night for baseball.
So far, so good. It kind of blew out, but there's a possibility about 8 or 8:30, Wally. So I think that's why they bumped the game up. The pundits, I'm sure, a lot smarter than I am, but it's 75 degrees. It's still very muggy, and wind's north at 14. Kelly, like you were talking about, wind could play a factor. It'll be calming down a little bit, but the cold front has moved through, but there might still be a shower or two, and then overnight there's supposed to be some thunderstorms.
King's Pest Control, serving Williamson County's pest control needs for over 40 years. Family and locally owned since 1982. Safe and reliable pest control services for your home or business. Call them 512-930-PEST. It's 512-930-7378 or go to kingspest.com. Proud sponsors, First Responder Broadcasting and Georgetown Eagle Baseball. The Georgetown Eagles, the home team tonight here at Eagle Field. They're in the white striped pants with the blue jerseys with white lettering, white numerals, the white hats with the American flag G logo on the front of those white hats with blue bills in the third base dugout. The road team, the Hendrickson Hawks, will get their uniforms in a minute. They've all disappeared back in the dugout. They'll be in the dark road uniforms tonight in tonight's ball game. Georgetown comes in 11-7-1 overall, 6-1 in district. They lead the district standings all alone in first place after beating Hendrickson on Tuesday night. They dropped to 3-2. Eastview right behind Georgetown at 5-2 after the big win over Conley 10-2 on Tuesday night. Hendrickson fell to 5-13 overall, 3-2 in district, as they continue to struggle on the young season. Back and forth they go, and you get a good pitching performance like that, and then a tough loss. Hendrickson having a hard time kind of jumping over that in such a struggle after a good pitching performance by Camden Malott. Coach Jordan Vieira and manager Jared Frimmel meet at home plate with the 2-man umpire crew and the head coach David Neely of the Hendrickson Hawks as we get ready for things to start up here at Eagle Field here in Georgetown. They bring the lineup card for the booth across. But a night for baseball, Georgetown, continuing the winning ways. Kelly, you and I talked while we were setting things up and getting things going. A team that, out of these 7 losses, 6 came in non-district play against top-ranked teams in 6A and 5A. A lot of growth came out of that, and this team continues to grow and crawl and find themselves at a good pace. Only 1 loss in district and a tough loss to Eastview that was. But it's the normal Jordan Vieira way of schedule them tough early and let this team grow through those battles and to be successful.
Particularly important this year, not that it's not every year, but it's such a different-looking team this year than it was last year. Lots of new faces out there for the Eagles this year. But as usual, strong pitching and getting that pitching staff to be consistent is really going to play a factor whenever you start looking at potential playoff runs there for any team. And Georgetown usually has a good, solid pitching staff, and it seems to be the case this year that they're able to come to the mound. And particularly whenever Georgetown faces a little bit of adversity, those guys that come in from the bullpen can get them out of that adversity most of the time.
And the one thing that it's been fun to watch, Dave and I have talked about it multiple times, is you're not going deep into your bullpen. You're getting 5, 6, 7 innings out of your pitchers, the starters, and when you need them to come out of the bullpen, they're doing a good job with it. Landon Bullock came out on Saturday and had a great inning, followed by Groomsy to shut the door. You found your closer in Hayden Grooms, but not a lot of work, a lot of arms available, but this team is doing riding some good pitching. And Braden Curtin, we talked to him last night at the coaches show. He's 4-0 with 2 big wins in district. Out of those 6, you've got David Fluid on the mound tonight for Georgetown, the lefty who is your anchor and your ace on this team. But, man, lots of arms that we have not yet seen Cooper Thomas on the mound in district. You have not seen Connor Young on the mound. You have not seen Luke Holly on the mound. You haven't seen Chance Garcia on the mound. There's several names out there you have not seen because the starting pitching continuing to do good things in district. But, Dave, then we go back. Look at these facilities. Yeah. We talked about it in the first home game of the season in district. And even through the dry times and now some rain, this field continues to look great, still a great facility. And people love to come play. We love to be at home at Eagle Field, where Georgetown always seems to do good things.
And, folks coming to the stadium tonight will notice a little bit more traffic around GISD tonight. The state UIL soccer tournament appears to be going on at Birkelbach tonight. And, of course, you've got a lot of people filtering in, probably about 70,000 of additional people coming into town this weekend for the Two Step In Country Music Festival. But, yeah, Kelly, the first day I came up here for the first game, I thought they had AstroTurf the outfield. That's how amazing it looked. And so we'll have some rain tonight. It'll green it up even more.
Wally, one of the issues, and we'd had a conversation about it a little bit earlier, at the beginning of every year with the changes that happen with the roster, you got to answer some questions. And Georgetown was able to answer a lot of those questions early in the season. And now it's a matter of productivity. It's a matter of development and getting these kids ready to continue a push into district, finish at the top of the district, near the top of the district, so that you get a good playoff setting. And these tough games, like you talked about, are preparation for that.
We'll go to the PA announcer for the introduction of tonight's starting lineup for your Georgetown Eagles.
For your Georgetown Eagles, batting first, play shortstop, number 7, Jack Kiki. Batting second and catching, number 26, Connor Young. Batting third and pitching, number 12, David Fluid. Batting fourth and playing third, number 16, Hayden Grooms. Batting fifth, playing center field, number 6, Luke Holly. Batting sixth, designated hitter, number 8, Jaden Howe. Batting seventh and playing first, number 21, Braden Curtin. Batting eighth, playing right field, number 4, Tate Ritchie. Batting ninth, playing left, number 24, Cooper Thomas. And at second base, number 2, Jalen Hunter. And the rest of your Georgetown Eagles.
Back live here in the press box. It's ready for tonight's national anthem. Join us in the national anthem. We'll come back to starting lineup for the Hawks as we get ready for action here at Eagle Field. Back here live, Georgetown High School, as we get ready for the first inning. The starting lineup for the Hendrickson Hawks, leading it off at catcher number 18, Braden Borger. Batting second, the pitcher number 11, Jake McGuire. Batting third, the third baseman number 22, Camden Malott. The DH bats fourth, number 7, Gavin Fierro. Batting fifth, the center fielder number 9, Cole McCracken. Batting sixth, the shortstop number 12, Kevin Haslam. Batting seventh, the left fielder number 10, Connor Padilla. Batting eighth, the right fielder number 3, Pearson DeLeo. And batting ninth, the second baseman, number 16, Rhett Peterson. So it'll be Borger, McGuire, and Malott in the top third. Fierro, McCracken, Haslam in the middle third. Padilla, DeLeo, and Peterson in the bottom third. At second base for the, or at first base for the Hendrickson Hawks will be number 8, Hicks, playing defensively at first base. Here in the top of the first inning as we get ready to go defensively for your Georgetown Eagles. In left field, Cooper Thomas. Center is Luke Holly. Right is Tate Ritchie. At third base, Hayden Grooms. At short, Jack Kiki. At second base, Jalem Hunter. At first base, Braden Curtin. Behind the plate, wearing 26 tonight in the blue jerseys, is Connor Young. And on the mound, the senior left-hander, David Fluitt. And so the Eagle defense gets ready to go as Fluitt goes through his warm-up pitches here in the top of the first inning. But you guys, we've been around Georgetown baseball for a while. You run through a season like 2022 when they were the 5A state champs and a great season, 35-7 overall. And you have names like Andon Petty, Landon Heil, Zach Mozick. You can go on Reese Wheels Bell. You could go through that whole roster that lost 14 seniors. A roster for Georgetown that starts 2 sophomores is something special.
It is special, and, man, there's so much value to that down the road in the future. But tonight, we just get to deal with the here and the now.
The first pitch in there and hits. The leadoff batter, Borger, the catcher. Braden Borger will head down to first base, and we'll have a courtesy runner for the catcher, Braden Borger, to start things off here.
Yeah, we went down to opening night on Tuesday night at the ball field, and we were reminded of how much fun it was to see that sea of blue down there at Dell Diamond at the state title. Anytime Georgetown plays down there, we're going to fill up that Dell Diamond.
The courtesy runner for the Hendrickson Hawks for the catcher, Borger, will be number 19, Logan Clark. He is leading off at first, being held on by Curtin. Fluitt works from the third base side on the stretch now. The first pitch here to the pitcher, McGuire, is taken for ball 1. Jake McGuire, number 11, hits in the second hole. Camden Malott, the third baseman, on deck for Hendrickson here in the first inning. Fluitt comes set, the 1-0 pitch, a swing and a miss, strike 1, 1-1 to count.
2-man umpire crew tonight, so that guy that's working the field is going to be busy. Going to lose a couple of LBs tonight running around.
He'll put some sweat in as both of these teams will try to take advantage and run. Throw to first base here. And without a tag, Logan Clark dives back in safely there. The Hawks in the black uniforms with white pinstripes, navy blue numbers outlined in white. So an all-dark uniform for the Hendrickson Hawks. Bunt down the first baseline, punch foul. The runner was off on the pitch, but now behind in the count is McGuire at 1 ball and 2 strikes. And so now that'll take away the bunt opportunity. Do you see this runner run? But what I think I'd like to see, please take off and try to run on this catcher. Yeah. Connor Young is a weapon behind the plate, even at a sophomore.
All right, Clark got a good jump, so it's fortunate that ball went foul on that steal attempt.
Fluitt comes set in the stretch. The 1-2 pitch. Fouled off back to the screen, and McGuire stays alive in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fluitt, the senior lefty, one of those players that you get to enjoy over a 3-year period. He was on this team as a sophomore. He now in his 3rd year as a varsity player, the ace of this team, of this pitching staff, and it has been fun to watch him progress as he works here into his senior year. The 1-2 pitch fouled off, strike 3 into the glove of Connor Young for the first out. First strikeout of the ballgame for Fluitt. And with 1 out, a runner at first, that'll bring up Camden Malott, the third baseman.
You can tell he was confused by that pitch coming in there because that was a bit of an excuse-me swing at that pitch, and he just tipped it back into the catcher's glove. Good sign for the pitcher to start.
Fluitt has that ability. He will paint the corners on the right-handed batters on the outside, but has different pitches and different looks to have to take into account, and hides the ball well. A swing and a miss on the first pitch to Camden Malott. 0-1 the count. Malott, the right-handed pitcher for the Hawks on Tuesday night that went the 7 innings, 110 pitches, and struck out 10. He'll be on the field at third base tonight. Another throw to first. Logan Clark buckled the legs there, but dives back in safely.
You like the rhythm and I like a pitcher that works quickly, and I like how he's working on the mound right now. And you keep the batters off balance, especially when you get out ahead of them.
Another throw to first as Clark dives back in. So expecting possibility of a bunt here or a hit and run with Malott at the plate for the Hawks, but paying a lot of attention to Clark. Clark ran the other night a leadoff hit in the bottom of the first for the catcher. Borger was then caught stealing by Connor Young in that first inning. The 0-1 pitch off and running, and there was that hit and run. Malott, a late swing, fouls it off down the first baseline. But you hear the wind blowing in the crowd, Mike Dave. We talk about it now. Usually we get it right to left, out of right field to left field. Tonight it's reverse coming out of the north.
Yeah, you see those flags out there whipping. If you were sitting outside on the back porch today and felt that cold front come in, it was pretty nice break from the humidity.
No balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. Malott back in for the right side. And the home plate umpire absolutely disgusted with something down the third base dugout, or first base dugout with Hendrickson. I think it was the foul ball. They just had to get off the field. They calls time. Safety of the players matter most. There comes the ball back. The 0-2 pitch. Nope, it's a throw over to first base again. Braden Curtin covering there. Slaps the tag on, but no avail. Logan Clark dives back in safely.
Malott using all the depth in that batter's box. He's got his right foot back on that line, so he's got to be careful not to take any kind of a preparatory step backwards.
Fluid comes set. The 0-2 pitch. Fly ball back out of play. And Malott stays alive in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. And during the game, you may hear it a lot, Kelly. David, I've heard it before. Jordan will yell. This year, it's a different look for Georgetown as Coach Payne in the third base coaching box. Jordan in the dugout the entire time. But he will speak and talk to the umpires. And one he will question is, hey, get them in the box. They're out of the back of the box. They've got to be in the box. The 0-2 pitch, a swing and a miss for strike 2. Back-to-back strikeouts for Fluid. 2 in the ball game, and that'll bring up the DH, Gavin Fierro.
A lot of people that don't watch a lot of baseball may not understand why they do that. A batter will tend to, especially when the pitcher's got some good off-speed stuff and breaking stuff, they'll stand as deep in that batter's box as they possibly can so that the ball has broken as much as it can by the time they take a swing.
And now you see it here with the DH, Fierro standing on the back line of the right-handed batter's box. And Connor Young, the heads-up play from the sophomore catcher gives Fluid a step up, let's reset, and gives the sign here now as Logan Clark leads off. Curtin holds him on. 2 outs in the inning. The first pitch to Fierro. Bounces in on the turf. A great block there by Connor Young. It's a 1-0 count now to the DH, Fierro.
No pitch clock in high school, but don't need it with a pitcher likes working tonight.
Fluid likes to get into a rhythm and go. He does not like to lull on the mound, and he works quickly. And now another timeout. The on-deck batter, that's one thing, and the umpires now had to say it 2 or 3 times. The on-deck batter takes the foul ball and just sets it at his feet. They will not allow the ball to be on the field. At the time, Fluid was ready to go. He wasn't even watching. And now he'll come set in the stretch. 1-0 count to Fierro. The 1-0 pitch. That was on the inside corner for a called strike. 1-1 to count now.
Nice pitch with Fluid working off of the area of the rubber that he's on. You get really good angles like that when you've got the control. That can be really, really confusing for the hitters.
The 1-1 pitch misses down low for ball 2. 2-1 to count now to Gavin Fierro. Cole McCracken, the center fielder, on deck for the Hawks. Should Fierro be able to extend this inning here in the top of the first. 2-1 count, 2 outs, 1 runner on, a leadoff hit by pitch. And Logan Clark leads off. The 2-1 pitch. That one misses just low for ball 3. 3-1 to count now to the DH Fierro. He was 1 for 2 in the ball game on Tuesday night. He flew out once, singled, and scored a run in the 5th inning, and then walked and was left stranded in the 6th inning. The 3-1 pitch. Fly ball sent out of play down the first baseline, and the count goes full now. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Fierro. So Logan Clark, the runner, will be off on the pitch here for the Hawks. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at first base. Fierro in the box ready to go. Fluid comes set in the stretch. The payoff pitch. Line drive out into left field. It'll be down in front of Cooper Thomas. Logan Clark will hold there. The throw right behind him as Hunter scoops it there at second base. And a 2-out base hit has runners on first and second for the Hawks.
Nice compact swing there, and he was able to drive the ball. Wasn't trying to hit it hard, just trying to do something with it with that 3-2 count. Did a good job of getting on base and moving the runner over to second, and that's what you want out of your hitters, patience at the plate, and is good at bat for Fierro.
Cole McCracken steps in. He's 0 for 4 on Tuesday night. Steps in here with 2 outs and runners on first and second base. He'll bat from the left side. As Coach Neely down in the third base box talks to Logan Clark at second base. Fluid remains in the stretch with the runners on. He'll take a look at second base. The first pitch to McCracken. And there's the bender that comes in and almost makes you buckle your legs as a left-handed hitter and then give up on it, and that ball breaks right across the plate for strike one.
Those nasty breaking pitches can, especially when they're working really well, when in concert with that fastball, it's just so difficult for these hitters to see.
The 0-1 pitch.
For instance.
And then McCracken right there, a totally different looking breaking pitch down in the turf. And McCracken chases it, swing and a miss for strike 2. 0-2 the count now. Flew way ahead in the battle here with McCracken with 2 outs and runners on first and second.
McCracken better get cracking.
McCracken back in, left side. Fluid comes set. The 0-2 pitch. Breaking pitch, but just stayed high through the zone. 1-2.
It's called a ball, but that was a good pitch. And I don't know how the batter laid off of that because it hung up a little bit. But testing to see if he'll climb that ladder a little bit, go for something up and high.
Fluid comes set in the stretch. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Fluid strikes out the side in between a hit by pitch and a walk. And the top of the first comes to an end. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left on after half an inning. Hendrickson 0. Georgetown coming up to bat. Eagle baseball continues in a moment.
Georgetown.
Royalty, put blame on me. Hey, my trend. Word up, OG. Watch how you talking your tone. What I be on? You cannot make me a clone. You already know T versus T. Compared to every white boy in America, I'm doing it different. Attacking the limits won't fit the criteria. Here in stereo, saying American. Hang around you and your crew's embarrassing. Take that sneak post down. Flexing on me is hilarious.
Back live here at Eagle Field. We go to the bottom of the first inning. Defensively for the Hendrickson Hawks. Padilla in left, McCracken in center, DeLeo in right. Malott at third, Haslam at short, Peterson at second, Hicks at first. Behind the plate is Borger, and on the mound is the right-hander, Jake McGuire, the senior, as he will start things off for the Hawks. Here in the bottom of the first to face off against Kiki, Young, and Fluid for the Georgetown Eagles. Jack Kiki will step in from the right side, the junior shortstop, the first pitch, and Kiki takes it for a called strike, 0-1 the count. To the junior shortstop with Connor Young, the catcher, on deck. David Fluid, the first baseman, in the hole for Georgetown. The 0-1 pitch to Kiki. Pop fly on the infield. First and second base, Talk. Hicks will take over and make the catch for out number 1. So P3 in the book to retire Kiki. With 1 out, that'll bring up Connor Young, the catcher, for the Georgetown Eagles.
With this overcast like this, it's kind of hard. It can be hard for the fielders to really pick up that baseball, that white baseball, against this gray backdrop of the cloud cover.
And with this wind blowing like it is, too, it can cause trouble.
It happened the other night in Hendrickson. Ball's moving around with that wind. The first pitch to Connor Young. Breaking pitch, catches the inside corner for called strike 1.
It happened at Dell Diamond. You got minor league guys that couldn't even catch the ball. It was dropping. They had 3 people at the mound, and the ball fell right there in front of all of them. What?
McGuire comes set. The 0-1 pitch. Connor Young fouls it off. 0-2 the count now. Connor Young throws right, bats left. The sophomore here, as he'll step back in. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here in the bottom of the first inning.
You could tell he was sitting on that breaking pitch. He was even just a little bit late on a slower pitch.
The 0-2 pitch. Young fouls it off back behind home plate. Stays alive in the at-bat. No balls, 2 strikes. McGuire works out of the stretch. And I think what we're going to see tonight is a lot of off speed, a lot of curve balls, a lot of things from McGuire other than the fastball. He is not going to be a fastball pitcher. Things that a lot of teams will throw at Georgetown is that off-speed pitcher that doesn't have a lot of speed when a team is used to hitting fast pitches, driving the pitch the opposite direction. And so be interesting to see how Georgetown reacts to that tonight. Connor Young back in for the left side. Gets set. McGuire comes set in the stretch. The 0-2 pitch. Up and in. Ball 1. 1-2 the count now to Connor Young.
Young pretending he's trying to get out of the way of that pitch, but as he turns, kind of throws that elbow up a little bit, willing to take one for the team.
The 1-2 pitch. Young fouls it off. At home plate. Stays alive. Good battle here now. 1-2 still the count. For the left-handed hitting catcher, Connor Young.
These are kind of at-bats. You see him foul it off, foul it off, foul it off. You stay in the at-bat, stay in the at-bat. And, man, it just seems like every time that happens, something good comes for the batter.
Young steps back in. McGuire comes set. The 1-2 pitch. Connor Young, a chopper, high hopper out towards second. A charge by Peterson, throws on the run in time. To retire Connor Young for out number 2, 4-3 on the putout. And with 2 outs and the base is empty, in steps the pitcher, number 12, David Fluid. Throws left, bats left as he steps in here for the Eagles here in the bottom of the first. Fans continue to file in here to the early start today. Tomorrow, remember, on the schedule it said at one point, 1 o'clock. It's an 11 o'clock start against the Lehman Lobos here at Georgetown's Eagle Field. Tomorrow morning, we'll have the call. The first pitch to Fluid. He lays off and takes it for ball 1, 1-0 the count.
If you're planning on coming up here tomorrow, come early because everybody's parking up here for two-step.
And it is the facility, and that's the rule that Jordan was given, talked about, as Fluid yanks the 1-0 pitch, foul for 1-1 now. Was the game has to start before 11 or before noon. It cannot start after noon because of the shuttle parking for the two-step in, and so we're going to get here early to get set up. The 1-1 pitch to Fluid. He drives it down the first baseline. The foul ball grounder fielded by Hicks there. 1-2 the count. But you see that slower delivery, slower pitches coming from McGuire. And now McGuire showing his inner MLB status as he has now rejected 2 baseballs in the first inning. It's high school.
You got to.
And the umpire's going to wipe it and put it back in his pocket.
Right. And then throw it back to him later. Yeah.
It'll be the next ball he gets.
You can't scrub that ball on that sandpaper too hard.
1-2 pitch misses up and away for ball 2. 2-2 the count now. To David Fluid on deck, the third baseman Hayden Grooms. Should Fluid extend it? The 2-2 pitch. Ground ball hit out to short. Haslam up with it. Throws on the run in time. And the Eagles go in order here in the bottom of the first. 6-3 on the putout. And just like that, after 1 complete inning, Georgetown and Hendrickson are scoreless. Enjoy a quick break. We come back. It's Eagle Baseball. We go to the top of the second. Hendrickson, Eagles doing battle here on the SHN Sports Network. And we go to the top of the second inning, back here at Eagle Field. The Hawks will bring up the 6, 7, and 8 hitters, Haslam, Padilla, and DeLeo. Haslam will step in from the right side, the senior shortstop. 0 for 4 in the ball game on Tuesday. Fouls the first pitch back to the screen. 0-1 the count. Flew it in the first inning. Struck out 2, allowed 1 hit, hit 1 through 20 pitches. Works here in the top of the second. From the windup, the 1-0 pitch, or 0-1 pitch, up and away for a 1-1 count now. Fluid gets the sign. The 1-1 pitch to Haslam. Swing and a miss. Little more cheddar on that one from Fluid. Reach back. You used to see, you lulled into these curveballs, the breaking pitches, and then the high heater comes in, the 1-2 pitch. Fouled off. Haslam stays alive.
He's got just a natural throwing motion, and didn't take him long to get into a groove tonight, and it's worked so far. But every once in a while, especially younger pitchers, the high school age pitchers, it may take him an inning or two to get going, but he's going good so far.
The 1-2 pitch sent down the first baseline, curls out of play, and the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kevin Haslam, the shortstop. Haslam, Padilla, DeLeo, the outfielders, shortstop, and then the left fielder, right fielder. 2 up here in the top of the second. Fluid from the windup, the 1-2 pitch. Fly ball right side of the infield. Curtin backpedals onto the grass into foul territory, makes the catch for out number 1. F3 in the book to retire Haslam. And with 1 out and the base is empty, in steps the left fielder, number 10, Connor Padilla.
Pretty good footwork transitioning from the turf to the grass to keep his feet while tracking that ball down.
If you put some music from two-step in with that tomorrow, it looks like a little dance move going on down that first baseline.
Braden Curtin hauls it in. Padilla will step in from the right side.
Wally's now regretting I'm here.
There's something going on, but now Connor Padilla will step in.
Now you can hear the state soccer tournament.
Yelling in the background. The first pitch to Padilla on the outside corner for a called strike. 0-1 the count. Padilla on Tuesday night, 0 for 2 in the ball game, was hit by a pitch and then erased on a fielder's choice. The 0-1 pitch misses up and away. 1-1 the count now. Fluid ready to go on the mound. Works from the third base side to rubber in the windup. The 1-1 pitch. Fouled back out of play down the first base side. 1-2. Now the count to Connor Padilla.
I love with the crowd, Mike, being able to hear all the Ewok chatter coming out of both dugouts. So much fun.
The 1-2 pitch. A little flared grounder to Curtin. He'll pitch to Fluid, covering. And a great play by Braden Curtin and a great job by Fluid to come off the mound and cover first base. 3-1 on the putout for out number 2.
Baseball's simple, but it's not easy. You got to take care of the basics, and you saw that right there with the pitcher running over to first and covering first base.
Pearson DeLeo, the right fielder, will step in with 2 outs and the base is empty. DeLeo was pinch hit for the other night on Tuesday night back at Hendrickson. So his first action at the plate in the series. First pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1 to the right fielder. 0-1 the count. The 0-1 pitch, inside corner, called strike 2. Game 1, Kelly. We're here with Conley. The Crows were out that night. It was amazing. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. And the Hawks go in order here in the top of the second after an inning and a half. Hendrickson 0, Georgetown 0. Georgetown Eagle baseball continues in a moment here on the SHN Sports Network. King's Pest Control, serving Williamson County's pest control needs for over 40 years. Family and locally owned since 1982. Safe and reliable pest control services for your home or business. Call them at 512-930-PEST, 512-930-7378, or visit them at www.kingspest.com. We go to the bottom of the second inning. It'll be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up for Georgetown. Grooms, Holly, and Howell. Grooms will lead it off. He'll step in with a .297 batting average on the season. As he'll step in from the right side, Hayden has done a great job locking down third base for Georgetown here in his senior year. Had a great fall season and continues here into the regular season. McGuire comes set. The first pitch to Grooms. Low and outside on a slow breaking pitch for ball one. Would love to see a radar gun on the speeds throwing by McGuire. Not much velocity.
Single digits.
Well, it's sitting on the bench, Wally.
The 1-0 pitch, low and away. Uh-oh.
Whoever was radaring earlier set it down, I guess. It's right there on the bench.
2-0 the count to Hayden Grooms, leading off things here. The 2-0 pitch, high through the zone for ball 3. 3-0 the count.
Vieira's teams are not scared to swing the bat early, and they're very aggressive at the plate, but I think in this circumstance they know he's not going to be throwing a lot of heat, so they want to see what his breaking pitch is going to do.
Grooms taking all the way, takes it for a called strike. 3 balls, 1 strike to count.
First time through the order against both these pitchers, they are just trying to analyze and see what they can attack the second time they come through this.
3-1 pitch, high through the zone. No, wow.
That one dropped off big at the end.
Coach Vieira chatters with the home plate umpire.
What?
Full count now to Hayden Grooms with no outs, leading off the bottom of the second here for the Eagles. McGuire comes set, the payoff pitch. Grooms hits it, shot out to shortstop. Haslam from the hole across the diamond, and it's safe at first base. Oh, my goodness. Coach Vieira will be out of the dugout. There he comes. The first baseman wasn't on the bag. He reached out to tag Hayden, and the glove makes contact and shoots out of the glove. He should be safe on the tag attempt. So it'll be interesting to see. The first base umpire said he called it contact through the bag, that he touched the bag. So he's going on to play that the first base umpire Hicks, first baseman, had contact with the bag.
Yeah, from the camera angle, you couldn't tell but it looked kind of like he had his foot on the bag, up against the bag. So
the first base umpire to come visit. That's hard to tell at that angle, the way his foot fell to the side, Kelly. It's a tough one.
Yeah.
And that's on the angle of the umpire, which was off the line, though. So they're going to call Grooms out. So it'll go 6-3 on the putout to retire Grooms.
Our instant replay up here.
Well, that's a funny thing about it is it's all about angles for the umpires and being in the position. The way he was off, that would have been tough to see if that foot, when he came to the side, was off the bag or not. He says it was on the bag, and we have one out. Luke Holly will step in, the center fielder for the Eagles. One out, and the base is empty. First pitch misses outside for ball 1. 1-0 the count to the senior center fielder, Luke Holly. A game-winning solo home run in the 6th. Ended up being the game-winning home run. The 1-0 pitch misses low and outside for ball 2.
He's staying away from Holly, isn't he?
I think he remembers what happened in that 6th inning.
The umpires that are out in the field, they generally try to position themselves where they're 90 degrees from where the throw is coming. And sometimes
2-0 pitch, driven foul down the third baseline. 2-1 the count.
Sometimes they may get into a position and then a player may block them or something like that. But that's why they move to the positions that they're moving to. They're trying to get 90 degrees to where the throw is coming from. That's your TED Talk for umpire mechanics tonight. Brought to you by King's Pest Control.
2-1 the count to Luke Holly. The 2-1 pitch. Breaking pitch. Catches the outside corner for strike 2. 2-2 the count. So when all else fails, McGuire goes to the 60-mile-an-hour curveball, and he is finding the zone for it. It's tough for Georgetown to hit right now. First time through. The 2-2 pitch. Holly fouls it off back behind home plate and stays alive in the at-bat. But that's something you get used to seeing from some teams. They'll throw someone that doesn't have a lot of speed, that has junk and curveballs and off-speed stuff, and it can give teams wreak havoc on the batting lineup. The 2-2 pitch. Holly waits on it, lifts one to right field. DeLeo settles under it, makes the catch for out number 2, F9 in the book, to retire Luke Holly.
What was that playoff game that we had last year? And that kid, he wasn't throwing any higher than 72, 73 miles an hour the entire game, and it just perplexed the Georgetown batters.
I think, was it Navarro in the first round?
Yeah, sure
the Navarro
was.
Vikings.
Yeah.
So in steps the DH, number 8, senior Jaden Howe. With 2 outs and the base is empty here in the bottom of the second. The first pitch to the lefty. This is inside for ball 1. Now the chatter down the third baseline, picking up for Georgetown. Reminiscent of the Adrian Beltre.
Yeah. Slide that home deck circle.
Yeah.
One of the best memories of Adrian Beltre.
He's trying to get as much of a straight-on angle at this as he can.
A 1-0 pitch. Howe will lay off and take it for a called strike. 1-1 the count. But Curtin was almost back behind home plate, and the field umpire caught it and moved him back. Howe back in, the lefty ready to go. McGuire comes set, the 1-1 pitch. Howe reaches out, slaps it back to the pitcher, McGuire. He'll throw to first in time. And for the second inning in a row, Georgetown goes in order. 1, 2, 3.
Once they figure out the pitcher, they'll have to make some adjustments on the mound. But Georgetown will eventually get this speed down, and the bats will start really hammering these balls where they need to go.
With 2 innings in the books, it's a 0-0 score. Georgetown and Hendrickson continue battle here in a moment on the SHN Sports Network.
Yeah, I'm the big homie. For those of y'all that don't know me, one and only, name another rapper this Cody. Can't show me these down bad rap phonies. Take a pic to Ricky Bobby shaking Bake Brody. Pin rolling, never sleep, I just keep going. Hit my peak now, I just started like my name Tommy. Had a vision, this was destined for my life story. Bible by my side, I keep it like a gun on me. War ready, and we ain't afraid to get bloody. Told me I should quit my day job, that's funny. Hey, will always elevate me, I'ma keep showing. Out and selling, record spinning, it ain't never slowing. Take the stage, take the crown, I don't need it, got the sound. I'ma be the king forever, even when they count me out. Favorite rapper, raise a bar from the ground. Taking risks you never dreamed of, get my name up out your mouth. Don't talk, it's silent on the floor, kings walk. We gon' drag your body through the door in shock.
Back live here at Eagle Field, we go to the top of the third. And David Fluid on for Georgetown will face the 9-1 and 2 hitters, Peterson, Borger, and McGuire. From the windup, the first pitch to the number 9 hitter, Peterson. Ground ball out to short. Kiki fields it. He'll have to throw on the run and is not going to beat Rhett Peterson down the line. An infield hit. Groom's unable to cut it off into that 5-6 hole. Kiki made a good play, got the throw off, but couldn't get enough on it. So an infield single, the second hit of the ball game for the Hawks. And then back to the top of the lineup we go to Braden Borger, the catcher, who was hit by a pitch on the first pitch of the ball game. Steps in here with no outs and a runner at first.
Backed off that line a little bit, too.
First pitch to Borger, ground ball out to short. Kiki will field, flip to Hunter at second to throw to first, not in time. And so Borger will reach on the fielder's choice as Peterson is erased, 6-4 on the put out at second base for out number 1. So that'll bring up Jake McGuire, the pitcher, on to run. Should be Logan Clark, number 19 for the Hawks. Down at first base for the catcher.
It's a tough decision on a ball like that, whether to charge it or whether to wait on it. He had to wait on that one.
Ground ball hit to Kiki. Flip to Hunter at 2-for-1. On to first in time. No.
Dropped it.
And I'm not sure he beat it or would have gotten the out anyway, but Curtin dropped the ball at first. And that'll be another fielder's choice. He would have beat that. So McGuire is safe at first. A courtesy runner for him as he reaches on the fielder's choice. 6-4 to retire Logan at second base. Number 6 in to run for the Hawks pitcher McGuire. That's Aiden Torres. The first pitch to Malott is low for ball 1. 1-0 the count. To Camden Malott, who struck out back in the first inning. Fluid will throw to first. Torres will dive back in safely. 2 outs here in the inning. Thanks to back-to-back ground balls to Jack Kiki at shortstop. 2 outs in the inning now. The 1-0 pitch is in there for a called strike, so a 1-1 count now to Camden Malott.
Nice pitch, had a little extra on it.
Fluid in the stretch, a look over at first base. The 1-1 pitch. Malott off the end of the bat, sends it down the first baseline, but it'll curl out of play. And now Malott behind in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 outs and a runner at first here for the Hawks.
With this game starting this late, there aren't a whole lot of kids here, so there's no snow cone rush for that ball.
The 1-2 pitch. Breaking pitch just misses high for ball 2. 2-2 now the count to Camden Malott. 0 for 2 on Tuesday night, 0 for 1 here tonight. So far in the series, 0 for 3. Fluid comes set, the 2-2 pitch. Misses low and inside, a throw down to first behind the runner Torres. Skips in as Curtin makes the scoop. The full count now to Camden Malott. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at first will be off on the pitch. Curtin will hold him on. Fluid comes set, the payoff pitch. Line drive hit out into right center field. Luke Hawley on his horse, and he'll make the catch on the run for out number 3. L8 in the book to retire Camden Malott and the Hawks here in the top of the third. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. After 2.5 innings, Hendrickson 0, Georgetown 0. Georgetown baseball continues in a moment. And we're back for the bottom of the third inning. Braden Curtin, Tate Ritchie, and Cooper Thomas, 7, 8, 9 hitters due up here for the Eagles in the bottom of the third. Eagles would love to get something going offensively as they've been retired 3 in a row in both of the first 2 innings. The first pitch is called a strike on the outside corner. 1 ball, no strikes. The count to Braden Curtin, the junior right-hander. The 0-1 pitch, fouled off, check swing. Hit the bat, now it's an 0-2 count to Braden Curtin.
Wally, you were talking about it on the break. With these low-speed pitches like this, might be beneficial for these batters to move up in that batter's box.
It'll be interesting to see what adjustments are made with Coach Pierre and the coaching staff with the hitters. The 0-2 pitch to Curtin. Outside for ball 1, 1-2 the count. Curtin enters the ball game with a .242 batting average on the season, as he has his first plate appearance of the night here in the bottom of the third. The 1-2 pitch. Fly ball high to the left side of the infield. The third baseman Malott calls for it, moves around, and he can't make the catch. He drops it. There's the effect of the wind right there, Dave. We were talking about it. The flag's up and down, blowing around in there. And Malott started out by the bag, about 4 or 5 feet behind it, ended up about even with the bag, 4 or 5 feet to the right, and drops out of the glove for an error. And Georgetown gets their first base runner.
That's right. And, with the wind out of the north, that Fieldhouse right there is probably Right as it came down to his glove, it looked like it shifted. It got out of that wind and moved just a little bit on him.
In steps Tate Ritchie, batting .333 on the season.
Wouldn't be surprised to see a little small ball. There it is.
Throw to first base. Curtin dives back in under the tag of number 8, Hunter Hicks, I believe his first name is. I don't want to get it right. It is Hunter Hicks at first base defensively. Ritchie squared early. See what the defense would do. Tate back in for the right side. McGuire comes set. Tate squares around. First pitch. Tate bunts it out to the right. McGuire is going to throw on the run, but hesitates and throws the first instead. So a nice sack bunt there by Tate Ritchie. Gets the Eagles their first runner into scoring position. 1-3 on the putout to retire Tate. But small ball installed and effective. Right there on the sack bunt. And in steps Cooper Thomas for the Eagles with a .308 batting average coming into the night.
I really thought he was going to try to get that lead runner, and that would have been a mistake. It's a smart play to pull that ball down and get that runner at first.
Cooper Thomas steps in from the right side. The sophomore left fielder ready to go. McGuire comes set. The first pitch to Thomas. Thomas sends it right field. DeLeo on the run. He's not going to get to it. It's off the wall. Cooper Thomas around first. He's headed to second. Curtin will be held at third. He had to wait to see if the ball was going to get over the head of DeLeo, and it does. It went off the base of the wall. A shot there by Cooper Thomas, and now with one out, Georgetown has runners on second and third.
Good relay throw. That kept the runner at third, and he didn't even hardly set his feet before he made that throw, and an accurate throw to the cutoff man.
Starting to feel that pitch speed a little bit now, I think, Wally.
Cooper Thomas did a great job there, waited on it and drove it right where it was pitched to the outside and right to the base of the wall down the 323 line for a double. And now the infield in for the Hawks as Jack Kiki steps in with one out. McGuire in the stretch, looks in and gets a sign, will come set. Curtin off third, Cooper Thomas even with Haslam middle way to the third base. Square to bunt, safety squeeze, it's down. McGuire not going to have a play. It's a base hit by Kiki, and a run scores 1-0 Georgetown.
Well done there, and nobody's covering second.
There's Jack Kiki paying attention.
Heads up base running.
The second baseman, Rhett Peterson, stayed in his hole over to the right, and now that allows Kiki to heads up maneuver there. He gets to second base, and now it's a reset of everything. Second and third, one out, and a run across. Georgetown leads it. Quick timeout with this visit from the dugout for the Hawks. Eagle baseball continues in a moment. Back after the quick visit, and Georgetown has created havoc here in the bottom of the third inning. One run across, a double by Cooper Thomas set it up, and then a bunt single by Jack Kiki, and he advanced to second when the Hawks weren't paying attention. Square to bunt. Connor Young slaps it foul on the bunt attempt on another safety squeeze when you have the fastest player on the team down at third base in Cooper Thomas.
Trying to invoke the spirit of Cliff Gustafson, former Texas Longhorn coach that loved the small ball game.
Connor Young steps back in. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Grounded out to the second baseman back in the first inning. McGuire looks in. Connor will scoot up in the box, squares the bunt early. Pulls it back. He'll swing, and he drives it right into right field where the first baseman wasn't. That'll score one. Here comes Kiki. And Kiki will score. It'll be a 2 RBI single for Connor Young. And Kelly, talk about that. You turn around and square early, and Hicks committed all the way in. Connor Young pulls it back and sends it right back where he wasn't.
Hicks laid his cards on the table when he didn't need to. Whenever he started coming in very casually there at the end, I kind of thought he may pull that bat back, and he absolutely did.
What a job by Connor Young. The courtesy runner on is Justin Soto. But a 2 RBI single into right field. Hicks had to bail out of the way when the ball was coming at him, as Connor Young pulled it right down the first baseline into right field and scored 2 runs. It's 3-0 Georgetown. First pitch to Fluid, and he rips that one foul off the first base dugout. 0-1 the count.
It was at that moment he knew, I will not finish that.
What a job there by Connor Young, the sophomore. As Kiki heads up running.
He was wanting to advance further, but he kind of tripped and fell. Thank goodness nobody was at first base covering. There was nobody to throw to. He scrambled back to first base and was safe.
3 hits in the inning for the Eagles, 3 runs. Fluid back in, the 0-1 pitch to David Fluid. Fluid drives it past the first baseman into right field. Another base hit for the Eagles. Soto will be held at second. And with 1 out, runners at first and second base. David Fluid stays out on the year. He came into the ballgame batting .407. Now 1 for 2 in the ballgame. The 4th hit of the inning for Georgetown.
Doppler Dave mentioned it a little bit earlier. Maybe figured this guy out now.
Running for the pitcher will be number 9, the Crutch. Colton Crutchfield comes out to run.
I can't wait to see what is going to happen with a 2-out rally.
Oh, it's a wonderful. And the thing is, Georgetown just is not afraid to attack and play aggressive with 2 outs, and much less right now.
Yeah.
4 hits in the inning with 3 runs.
They do some of their best work with 2 outs.
Hawk bullpen getting busy down the first baseline. And in steps Hayden Grooms with runners on first and second, 1 out. McGuire comes set in the stretch. A look at second, the first pitch. Grooms squares the bunt, pulls it back. And stealing third is Justin Soto. The throw not in time from Borger. And what a heads-up play there. Grooms stayed set in the bullpen, or in the batter's box. Not an interference. And it's a steal there, and they're going to ask for now Coach Neely coming out to visit the field umpire.
Looked like it was going to be close, and third baseman didn't argue about it. So I'm wondering if he just missed the tag.
And Soto kind of did that swim move as he slid, laid onto his side to create a thinness of his body instead of a full taggable area. It looked like a good slide in.
I totally missed it, and I didn't get the camera angle.
Leo Yanez warming up in the bullpen down the third baseline. The visit with Coach Neely and the field umpire.
Stalling, giving him more time to warm up.
And short and sweet on the argument on the tag at third. Justin Soto gets the stolen base.
Yeah, and if you go to the umpire and not the pitcher, then it's not a visit. After so many visits, they got to pull him, but I don't think he's going to last long enough anyhow. I don't think that was the intention.
McGuire comes set. The 0-1 pitch to Hayden Grooms. Grooms lays off. Here goes the runner to second base. They're going to let it go through, and it gets away. Stolen base for Crutchfield, and that allows Soto to score from third as Borger's throw bounced into second base, but it gets underneath the glove of the shortstop Haslam into center field. So a stolen base for Crutchfield.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's not normal to in that situation. You really shouldn't throw to second. You got a guy on third. Just let him advance. I mean, am I wrong?
And it looked like they were going to try to cut it off, but they let it go through. But then it skipped away. And so it became a situation where another error here for the Hawks allows the run to score from third. Crutchfield off second, the 1-1 pitch to Grooms. Grooms sends a fly ball to right center field. It's going to die. See if the defense gets into it, and DeLeo does. He'll come up throwing, and Crutchfield will stay at second base.
We saw his arm earlier, so you don't want to test that.
So Grooms will fly out, F9 for out number 2. The Georgetown leads it 4-0 here in the bottom of the third. All 4 runs coming here in the inning as Luke Holly will step in with 2 outs and a runner at second base. So the run by Soto will be scored on the error. They're going to give an error on that throw from the catcher, Borger. They've got it as the third error of the ball game.
Every time he looks back his second, they're like, no.
1-0 on the missed pitch there to Luke Holly, who's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Luke in the top of the 6th the other night. smashed a solo home run. It ended up being the game-winning run as Georgetown won it 4-3. Steps in here with 2 outs and a runner at second. McGuire keeps looking at second. The 1-0 pitch. Holly flare out to right field, down the right field line, and it's going to be foul. It just blows foul. That right there is the difference on last week's game at home and tonight's game at home. The wind was out of the south last week. That ball would have held up in fair territory. Tonight, it's blown foul down the first baseline.
I'm just enjoying the dugout right now. Every time he looks back at second, they're like, no.
They're trying to help him out. Don't go over there. Crutchfield's not far off.
It's the small things in life.
I love it.
The chatter out of the dugouts is quite entertaining.
We need to do like NASCAR. Crank it up.
1-1. We're going to have to run another cable just down to the Georgetown dugout for home games.
Oh, we might not want to do that.
That's true. Jordan said no. 1-1 the count to Luke Holly. 2 outs. Crutchfield off second base. McGuire a look. And now Luke will take time out as McGuire takes his time on the mound. Holly back in. McGuire in the stretch. Comes set. Look at second base. And now a throw to second base, but the throw was high, which allowed Crutchfield to slide back in under the tag.
Boy, if that throw wasn't high, that was going to be
It'll be a close
pretty
one.
close play. But it was high.
1-1 the count. 2 outs. 4 runs on 2 errors here in the inning. McGuire continues to look and take his time. The 1-1 pitch. Holly takes it low and outside for ball 2.
Oh, my gosh.
2-1 the count to Luke Holly, the center fielder. Jaden Howell, the DH, on deck. Should Holly be able to extend the inning for Georgetown? They already have 4 runs on the board here in the bottom of the third. Crutchfield off second. Holly back in as McGuire comes set. 2-1 pitch. That's slow breaking ball. In there for called strike 2.
Boy, that was a pitch to hit right there. Kind of hung up over the middle of the plate, a little bit high.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the third. Holly back ready to go. McGuire comes set. The 2-2 pitch. Holly sends a fly ball into shallow right center field. The second baseman Peterson out. He'll curl away. And the catch is made by the center fielder McCracken on the run. For out number 3. F8 in the book to retire Holly and the Eagles here in the bottom of the third, but not before. Georgetown sends 8 batters to the plate, and they score 4 runs on 4 hits, 3 errors, and 1 runner left on base. After 3 complete, Georgetown leads at 4-0. Georgetown Eagle baseball continues in a moment. Back here at Eagle Field, we go to the top of the fourth. 0 runs, 2 hits, 2 errors for the Hawks. 4 runs, 4 hits, no errors for Georgetown. As we go to the top of the 4th inning, Fluid in 3 innings. First pitch to Fierro, the DH, is outside for ball 1. Through 3 innings, Fluid has allowed 2 hits, struck out 3, 1 hit by pitch, has thrown 42 pitches. The 1-0 pitch to Fierro, ground ball pulled foul down the third baseline. Evens out the count at 1-1. Fierro 1 for 1 in the ball game. Singled and left stranded in the first. Steps in here to lead off the top of the fourth for the Hawks. The 1-1 pitch. Up high and away for ball 2. 2-1 to count. The wind. Pick it up in the field of play. The 2-1 pitch up and in for ball 3. 3-1 now.
Almost heard a yoinks out of that bat.
Fierro back in. Fluid from the windup. The 3-1 pitch. Inside for ball 4. A leadoff walk for the Hawks. First walk of the night for Fluid. And with a man at first, that'll bring up the center fielder, Cole McCracken, who's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Struck out swinging to end the first inning for the Hawks. And here comes a visit from pitching coach Chad Payne for the Eagles. Quick visit to the mound. We'll take it with them. Eagle baseball continues in a moment. Quick visit there. Coach Payne taking out the old rosin bag to Fluid. Settling things down as Fluid works here in the top of the fourth. First pitch to Cole McCracken was bunted back over the top of the clamshell. 4 strike 1. McCracken back in from the left side. Fluid from the stretch comes set. The 0-1 pitch pulls the bunt back. It's down to the turf for ball 1. Good block by Connor Young there. Oh, 1-1 the count. Cole McCracken, the center fielder. The 1-1 pitch squares the bunt. Misses the bunt attempt. Throw down to first. Back behind to Fierro. Not in time, but now a 1-ball, 2-strike count to McCracken.
Well, it's kind of interesting. The first base coach isn't watching the first baseman throw the ball back.
You may see a fake play. A ball flared out to left field. Cooper Thomas is on it. He'll come up with it for out number 1 as Fierro retreats to the bag. F7 in the book to retire McCracken. And with 1 out and a runner at first, that'll bring up the shortstop, Kevin Haslam. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Exactly. It makes you wonder if Fluid or Curtin is seeing that, or someone can get his attention that, hey, he's not looking, you fake it, wait for him to step off. First pitch, fouled back to the screen by Haslam, 0-1 the count.
I haven't watched every throwdown, but a couple of them that I have, he's not watching that go back. That's kind of interesting. We'll see if it plays a factor.
Fierro leads off first, being held on by Curtin. Fluid comes set, the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2 to Haslam. Haslam 0 for 4 the ball game the other night, 0 for 5 in the series as he stands in here in the top of the fourth. 1 out and a runner at first. Fluid comes set, the 0-2 pitch. Fly ball into right field, Tate Ritchie. Block of the sun will settle under it, make the catch for out number 2. F9 in the book to retire Haslam. And with 2 outs and a runner at first, in steps the left fielder, number 10, Connor Padilla. He's 0 for 1 of the ball game, grounded out to Curtin at first base. Back at inning number 2. Padilla in from the right side as Fluid remains in the stretch with Fierro on the base at first base. Held on by Curtin. First pitch. Swing and a miss by Padilla. 0-1 the count.
Boy, he is mixing up those off-speed pitches very, very well, and it's just keeping these batters off balance a lot.
The 0-1 pitch. Misses outside and low for ball 1. 1-1 the count now. Connor Padilla, the left fielder. The 1-1 pitch. That one's on the inside corner for a called strike 2. 1-2 the account now. Fluid dotting that inside corner with the fastball. Heading the count, 1-2. He comes set in the stretch. The 1-2 pitch. Ground ball hit out towards second. Hunter to his right will flip to Kiki at second for out number 3, and that'll end the inning here for the Hawks. No runs on no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. After 3.5, Georgetown 4, Hendrickson 0. Georgetown baseball continues in a moment.
Mike's hot.
And back here to Eagle Field we go at the bottom of the fourth inning. Jaden Howe will lead things off. The 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Howe, Curtin, and Ritchie do up. Howe 0 for 1 in the ball game. Steps back in from the left side. The first pitch on the outside and low for ball 1. Wind whipping into the microphone as it comes out of the left field, across the field to right field. McGuire is still in the game on the mound for the Hawks. The 1-0 pitch to Howe. Ground ball pulled to the right side. Hicks to field it. Got to get it to his pitcher, and it's off his glove. Dropped for another error for the Hawks. Howe was moving down the line. Put pressure on him, and he reaches base on the E3 or E1. This is a good pitch there from Hicks to the pitcher McGuire, but he couldn't glove it, so another error costly for the Hawks.
Making that catch on the move is hard, and he turned his head just before the ball got there.
45 pitches through 3 innings for McGuire as he's given up 4 runs on 4 hits. As he works here in the bottom of the fourth, in steps Braden Curtin, who's 0 for 1 in the ball game, reached on an error and scored a run. Squares the bunt early. Throw to first base. Howe dives back in safely. Malott charging in from third base. The first baseman Hicks holding on to Howell at first base. So you'd imagine here if Curtin bunts, he's going to bunt down the first base line to make McGuire come off the mound. Curtin squares the first pitch. He'll take it back and take the pitch for a called strike. 0-1 the count.
A lot of movement on that pitch. I think it fooled him.
Curtin reached on the error by Malott, dropping the pop fly on the infield. That started off the bottom of the third for Georgetown. Came around to score the first of 4 runs. A throw to first. Howe dives back in safely. Tate Ritchie in the on-deck circle for the Eagles. Blankets coming out on the Georgetown side over here of the stands. That breeze coming through. Howe leads off, being held on by Hicks. Curtin squares early. The 0-1 pitch. Pulls it back. Thought it was high, but called strike 2. So that'll take the bunt out of the hands of Braden Curtin with 2 strikes, you assume here. He'll be swinging away as Malott backs up even with the bag at third base. McGuire comes set. The 0-2 pitch to Curtin. Curtin, fly ball, left side of the infield. The shortstop Haslam will call for it. Started in the hole, now catches it about 3 feet in front of second base as that ball was moving in the wind. And makes the catch for out number 1. P6 in the book to retire Curtin. And with 1 out, a runner at first base. In steps the right fielder, number 4, Tate Ritchie. He's 0 for 0 in the ball game. Laid down a beautiful sack bunt that moved Curtin to scoring position back to the 3rd inning. And steps in here, you got to imagine Malott thinking he may bunt again as he's come up about a step off the grass at third base. Ritchie in from the right side. McGuire will come set. Now Malott with a slow creep in at third base. A throw to first. Trying to see if Ritchie would square early this time, and no sign from Tate Ritchie there. Will small ball come back? Tate back in. Howell off first base. As McGuire comes set in the stretch. Ritchie holds off and hits a shot to third. The catch made. The throw back to double off Howell at first base. And the Hawks get out of trouble here in the bottom of the 4th. L5 to record the out on Ritchie, and then he'll throw 5-3 at first base to double off Howell, who was off on the shot for out number 3. So it ends up the Eagles go in order here in the bottom of the 4th. But after 4 complete, Georgetown 4, Hendrickson 0. Eagle baseball continues in a moment here on the SHN Sports Network. Back here at Eagle Field, we go to the top of the 5th inning. 4-0, Georgetown leads it over the Hawks as David Fluitt steps in. 5th inning of work, faces off against the 8-9-1 hitters. DeLeo will foul it off. Back to the backstop, 0-1 the count. DeLeo 0 for 1 in the ballgame, struck out swinging in the second. DeLeo, Peterson, and Borger due up here in the 5th for the Hawks. The 0-1 pitch, a swing and a miss. Strike 2. 0-2 the count now to Borger. The 0-2 pitch, foul back to the screen. As DeLeo stays alive in the at-bat, no balls, 2 strikes.
Dave, you wait.
Oh, yeah.
Outstanding.
The 0-2 pitch. Fouled back, 0-2. DeLeo continues to battle here to lead off things in the top of the 5th for the Hendrickson Hawks. The 0-2 pitch down in the turf. DeLeo lays off and takes it for ball 1. 1-2 the count. The 1-2 pitch misses for ball 2. 2-2 the count now. The 2-2 pitch from Fluitt stays up and away. Now 3-2, a full count here. After starting out 0-2 in the at-bat, DeLeo's worked it back to a full count. The payoff pitch. Down low, ball 4. It's over the 2nd inning in a row. The leadoff man has walked to reach base for the Hawks. Second walk issued by David Fluitt, and in steps Rhett Peterson, who's 1 for 1 in the ballgame. Singled back in the 3rd inning.
It's so cold, even the police officers up here in the booth.
Graves hanging out in the press box. Can't blame him. Smart, get out of that wind. Runner is not off. Connor Young throws back behind him. DeLeo dives back in. First pitch to Peterson. Thought I heard him call strike, but have a ball up on the board. It is a strike. 0-1 the count. The 0-1 pitch, square to bunt. Peterson bunts it foul, and somebody's little microphone was just exploded off the net.
I think that's the Hendrickson broadcast mic, maybe. Oh, it's a parent.
So an 0-2 count to Peterson now. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Rhett Peterson down on strikes for out number 1. 4 strike out of the ball game for Fluitt. 21 on the season now. Microphone, part of the dadcast from Hendrickson. He just hangs it on the net as it was blown up by that foul ball. The first pitch to Borger here. The break it pitch in there. Beautiful pitch.
One of the dads from Hendrickson decided we needed more cowbell.
0-1 the count to Borger, the pitch, catcher. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. The 0-1 pitch skips in, and a good block there by Connor Young. 1-1 the count. Borger led off the ball game on the first pitch of the night with a hit by pitch, and then reached on a fielder's choice back in the 3rd inning. So 0 for 1 on the night. 1-1 count with 1 out and a runner at first. Fluitt comes set. The 1-1 pitch fouled off back to the screen. 1-2 the count now. To the catcher, Braden Borger. On deck, Jake McGuire. Look at that hustle out of Coach Vieira. Coming out of the dugout to get the foul ball.
Well, he's not having to stand in the third base box anymore, so he doesn't have that level of exhaustion like he typically had whenever he's working that.
1 ball, 2 strike pitch. Breaking pitch. Almost caught the inside corner. Borger gave up on it. Kind of turned thinking it might hit him. It just missed for ball 2. 2-2 the count. DeLeo off first base, being held on by Curtin. Fluitt comes set in the stretch. The 2-2 pitch. Breaking pitch stays up and in again. Misses for ball 3.
He's trying to get hit.
The
But give the appearance he's trying not to get hit.
A full count here with 1 out. Fluitt comes set, a throw to first, and he had him leaning, but gets back just under the tag from Curtin. I think DeLeo was off on the pitch and about to cross him over Flew the throw over to first. Now DeLeo takes his lead again. Another throw over DeLeo, a delayed dive back, but just in time, safely.
With those leans that you're getting, you can't help but think he's on the move on the pitch.
Flew to look in. We'll get the sign from Connor Young and come set in the stretch. The payoff pitch, outside corner, called strike 3. Borger out on strikes looking for out number 2, the 5th strikeout of the ball game for David Flewitt. Gets a round of applause from the third base dugout. And in steps number 11, Jake McGuire, the pitcher. He's 0 for 2 in the ball game, a strikeout and reached on a fielder's choice. He steps in here with 2 outs and a runner at first. Fluid comes set. The first pitch to McGuire. Misses low. The runner off. Connor Young will throw down. It just bounces up too high. Kiki had to go up and get it and bring it down for the tag. But that'll be not a stolen base. That'll be a pretty much a wild pitch. It skipped in there.
I don't know if Kiki was aware of that. He was just still a little bit off of that base and wasn't quite there.
1-0 the count to McGuire, the 1-0 pitch. Misses low for ball 2. 2-0 now to the pitcher, Jake McGuire. Camden Malott, the hitter on deck for the Hawks. Should McGuire extend this inning? The 2-0 pitch on the outside corner for called strike 1. Seems to be a trend there. Fluid gets behind in the count. 1-0, 2-0. Here comes a heater to catch a corner to get himself back in a flow. And a 2-1 count now to McGuire. The 2-1 pitch. Breaking pitch stays up and away for ball 3. 3-1 now the count.
He's not having the success with that breaking pitch, which may be an indicator he's starting to get a little bit tired. He hadn't thrown a huge amount of pitches, but it's about this point where that fatigue can start wearing in because those breaking pitches take more out of that arm.
3-1 pitch and a ball popped back out of play by McGuire. Makes it a full count now. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs.
I don't know if the wind's playing anything into it. You can hear the wind kicking up more in our microphone.
Especially with that left-handed pitch trying to come back into that wind at home plate. Fluid looks at second, the payoff pitch. Fly ball down the right field line. Giving chase is Tate Ritchie, but that one's going to curl just out of play. So the at-bat stays alive for Jake McGuire here with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. This next pitch will be the 24th of the inning. That'll be the 72nd of the night, make it the 82nd of the night for Fluid. Fluid will come set in the stretch. The payoff pitch. Fly ball hit out into shallow right field. Tate Ritchie is going to call off the second baseman Hunter and make the catch for out number 3 to retire McGuire and the Hawks here in the top of the 5th. No runs on no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base after 4.5 innings. Georgetown 4. Hendrickson 0. Georgetown baseball continues in a moment. Sports Network. The bottom of the 5th inning we come here at Eagle Field. It'll be the 9-1-2 hitters due up. Cooper Thomas, Jack Kiki, and Connor Young. McGuire on. First pitch to Cooper. Ground ball back to the mound. McGuire flips to first in time to retire Cooper Thomas. 1-3 on the putout for out number 1.
At bat number 6.
Now with one out in the inning, that'll bring up the shortstop, Jack Kiki. He's 1 for 2 in the ball game.
Surprised our stadium lights are not on yet.
Kiki 1 for 2, a pop out in the first, a single and a run scored in the third. First pitch, lays off and takes it for a called strike. 0-1 to count. 51 pitches through 4 innings for Jake McGuire as he leads or trails 4-0. The 0-1 pitch high through the zone for a ball. 1-1 to count to Jack Kiki. Through 4 innings, he's allowed 4 runs on 4 hits and 3 errors on the Hawks. The 1-1 pitch to Jack. Swing and a miss. 1-2 now to Kiki. Connor Young on deck. But just like that, they bat to Cooper Thomas. The Eagles aggressive at the plate. You get that off-speed pitch. It looks good. You swing. 1 pitch, 1 out in the inning is how you keep McGuire in this ballgame with so few pitches thrown. The 1-2 pitch. Kiki sends a fly ball into left field. Padilla on the run. He'll be called off by the center fielder, McCracken, who will take the fly ball for out number 2. F8 in the book to retire Kiki. And with 2 down, here comes up the sophomore catcher, Connor Young. He is 1 for 2 in the ball game. Grounded out in the first, but then he'll show the bunt, pull it back, and single into right field to score 2 RBIs. As Hunter Hicks bailed out and got out of the way.
Now he needs a square again. That'd be awesome.
First pitch to Young. Ground ball pulled foul down the first baseline. 0-1 to count. Connor Young on the season came into the ball game, batting .308. 1 for 2 in the night so far. He steps back in with a no ball, 1 strike count here in the bottom of the 5th. McGuire in the stretch comes set. The 0-1 pitch to Connor. That one's in there for a called strike. 0-2 the count now to Connor. No 2 pitch to Young. Rips it foul down the first. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes. With the sophomore catcher on deck, David Fluitt. Should Connor Young be able to extend the inning? The home plate umpire telling Connor, take your time. Have to go retrieve the foul ball. Connor steps back in. No balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. The 0-2 pitch. Connor hits it out towards second. Rhett Peterson to his left, fields it, throws across his body in time to retire Connor Young and the Eagles in order here in the bottom of the 5th. After 5 complete innings, Georgetown 4, Hendrickson 0. Georgetown baseball continues in a moment here on the SHN Sports Network. Back here at Eagle Field, serving Williamson County. Pest control needs for over 40 years is King's Pest Control. Family and locally owned since 1982. Safe and reliable pest control services for your home or business. Call them at 512-930-PEST. 512-930-7378. Visit them at www.kingspest.com. Proud sponsors of Georgetown Eagle Baseball and the First Responder Broadcast Team. And we go to the top of the 6th inning. And the Hendrickson Hawks will bring up the 3, 4, and 5 hitters against David Fluitt. Through 5 innings, Fluitt has allowed 2 hits, struck out 5, walked 2, hit 1 with 1 wild pitch. Has stranded 5 runners on base. And kept the Hawks off the scoreboard here tonight. Another solid pitching performance for Georgetown out of their starters that gets you into the 6th inning. your bullpen continuing to have fresh arms that aren't having to come out for extended innings, and you got to love it.
You know they're wanting to come pitch, so.
The first pitch here is up and away for ball one.
Just a bit outside.
Camden Malott 0 for 2 in the ballgame. Struck out in the first, lined out to center in the third. Fluid works from the windup, the 1-0 pitch. That one's right down Main Street for a called strike. 1-1 the count now. To the number 3 hitter, Camden Malott. Gavin Fierro, the DH on deck. Cole McCracken in the hole. The 1-1 pitch. Down low for ball 2. 2-1 the count.
There's currently an aggravated assault taking place in the.
Swing and a miss. 2-2 the count. Down the third baseline.
Somebody getting their toes cut off or something.
2 balls, 2 strikes from the windup. Fly ball hit out into right field. Tate Ritchie circles back about 5 or 6 steps, makes the catch for out number 1. F9 in the book to retire Malott. And that'll bring up the DH, Gavin Fierro. He's 1 for 1 in the ball game. Singled and left stranded in the first, walked and cut down at second base in the 4th inning. He'll step in here with 1 out and the base is empty. Fierro, the DH tonight. First pitch from Fluid. In there for a called strike.
I'd say he's getting pretty comfortable. Knock on wood.
Every time I start thinking he's getting tired, he throws that.
The 0-1 pitch fouled off back to the screen. 0-2 the count now. To Gavin Fierro. 2 outs, or 1 out here in the top of the 6th. The Hawks down to their last 5 outs to come back in this one. The 0-2 pitch fouled back out of play. Fierro stays alive. Through 5 innings, Fluid has thrown 82 pitches as he works here in the top of the 6th. From the windup, the 0-2 pitch. Ground ball to third. Grooms backhands the throw across the diamond. A rocket in time.
Just a frozen rope.
6-3 or 5-3 on the putout. From Grooms to Curtin for out number 2, and what a play there by Hayden Grooms. For out number 2, and in steps number 9, Cole McCracken, the center fielder. He'll step in from the left side with 2 outs and the base is empty. Fluid from the windup.
A little visit from Coach V.
This will be it for David Fluid. If he comes out, we'll get a call to the bullpen. You're listening to Georgetown Eagle Baseball live here on the SHN Sports Network. Back here live, Eagle Field. We go to the bullpen. It'll bring on the right-hander, number 20, Zeke Hernandez. He'll come on for the Eagles here with 2 outs in the top of the 6th inning. He'll face off against Cole McCracken, the center fielder. 5 2/3 innings thrown by David Fluid. He threw 90 pitches, allowed 2 hits, struck out 5, walked 2, hit one and one wild pitch, but leaves the game in line for the win as the righty Zeke Hernandez will finish up his warm-up pitches. And we'll go back to action here in the top of the 6th as Cole McCracken will step in. Defensively for Georgetown, Fluid moves from the mound to first base. Curtin will come out defensively, and Hernandez will go to the mound for the Eagles. McCracken steps in from the left side as Zeke Hernandez will work out of the windup for the first base side of the rubber. The first pitch from Zeke to McCracken misses for ball 1. 1-0 the count to the center fielder, Cole McCracken, who's 0 for 2 in the ball game. The 1-0 pitch. Outside corner called strike 1.
Wally, this is my first time to see him pitch this year. What's he got?
Zeke likes to throw a lot of he's a fastball pitcher, has a lot of heat, but has a beautiful breaking pitch to keep people off balance. The 1-1 pitch misses for ball 2. To the stats, Zeke on the year. He's pitched 6 1/3 innings, misses for ball 3, 3-1 to count now. He's come in. This is his fourth game for Zeke. He's faced 28 batters. He's 1-0 on the season. There's a 3-1 pitch yanked foul by McCracken. Now a full count. In his 6 1/3 innings, he's allowed 3 hits, no runs, no earned runs, 4 walks, 9 strikeouts. Has a 0 ERA and a batting average against of .125. So he's done a great job in the relief. Typically comes in as your kind of your setup man as Zeke has come in a couple of games for Georgetown here in district. And like tonight here, and you kind of expect Macy Hayden Grooms in the 7th. The payoff pitch to McCracken. Ground ball hit out to second in between Fluid and Hunter into right field for a base hit. So McCracken with the 2-out base hit will bring up number 12, the shortstop, Kevin Haslam. Just the 3rd hit of the ball game for the Hawks. So Kevin Haslam will step in. He's 0 for 2 in the ball game. A fly ball to first base and a fly ball to right field. In the series, Haslam 0 for 6 against Georgetown. Hernandez now moves to the stretch with a runner on first, being held on by Fluid. First pitch to Haslam in there for a called strike. It's almost the rotation of when Fluid's pitching, Zeke is the reliever for Fluid. Comes in from that lefty to righty look for the batters. The 0-1 pitch misses low and outside for ball 1.
It's kind of hard to call him a middle reliever when you only play 7 innings in regulation and you're in the 6th.
1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs. McCracken off first base. The 1-1 pitch. A little flared ball out behind shortstop. Kiki will drift into shallow center field and make the catch for out number 3. F6 in the book to retire Haslam and the Hawks. Here in the top of the 6th, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. After 5.5 innings, Georgetown 4, Hendrickson 0. Georgetown Eagle baseball continues in a moment here on the SHN Sports Network. Go to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Eagles will bring up the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Fluid, Grooms, and Holly. Fluid 1 for 2 in the night steps in. As McGuire on for his 6th inning of work for the Hawks. First pitch to Fluid. And a ball hit out towards second. Peterson to his left. Scoops it to throw to first in time. to retire fluid for out number 1. 4-3 on the putout. Through 5 innings of work for McGuire. He has allowed 4 runs on 4 hits. 3 errors behind him, and he's only thrown 60 pitches through those 5 innings. 13, 15, 17, 6, and 9. As Hayden Groom steps in. Hayden 0 for 2 in the ball game. First pitch to Hayden. He watches it all the way in for a called strike. I think Hayden's just trying to time this up and get ready to rock and roll. 0-1 the count for Hayden Grooms. The 0-1 pitch for McGuire. Grooms takes it for ball 1. 1-1 the count. That's just a different look there out of Grooms, watching that one all the way to the mid, like, all right, I'm going to time you up here.
Do that again.
The 1-1 pitch. Hayden takes it low and outside as it skips in for ball 2. 2-1 the count. On deck, Luke Colley.
He's a football player, huh?
I've heard he does. The 2-1 pitch. There's Grooms, but he fouls it off down the first baseline. Shoots it foul, out of play. 2-2 the count. But Luke Colley, one of the Eagles that is committed to play baseball at the next level. Along with Hayden Grooms, who has done the same. Ryan Castilleja. Fluid still in that process. McGuire comes set. The 2-2 pitch to Hayden. Grooms lays off and takes it high for ball 3. Full count here to the number 4 hitter, third baseman Hayden Grooms.
That's a dangerous pitch in that area with the number 4 hitter.
Payoff pitch. Grooms slaps it down to third off the glove of Malott. Tough shot there. Kind of handcuffed Malott. Let's see how they score that. And it's an error on the third baseman.
That little in-between hop. That's so hard to field.
So an E5 there. Let's Grooms reach base with 1 out. And in steps Luke Colley, who's 0 for 2 in the ball game. Flew out to center and right field. Colley back in for the right side. McGuire comes set. The first pitch. Luke holds up the swing and takes it outside for ball 1. Thought he was about to pull the trigger. It lays off and takes it for a ball. 1-0 the count to Luke Colley. Grooms leads off first, being held on by Hunter Hicks. McGuire comes set. Throw to first base. Grooms will dive back in. Grooms headed to McMurray University. And now Luke Colley steps in. The 1-0 pitch to Luke. Grooms is off. Luke sends it into center field. It's down for a base hit. And the Eagles have 2 runners aboard now. After the base hit into center field by Luke Colley. Grooms into second base. He was off on the pitch. Cruised in on the 5th hit of the night for Georgetown. And in steps Jaden Howe. He's 0 for 2 in the ball game. Grounded out in the second. Reached on an error in the 4th inning. Was doubled off in that inning. Steps in here with 2 runners on and 1 out. The first pitch to Howe. Howe fouls it off back behind the catcher for strike 1.
Late breaking curve then, man. That thing didn't move until it got about to the green part of the circle in front of the plate, and then it broke.
McGuire get a visit from his catcher, Braden Borger. Zero and 1 the count to Jaden Howe. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Georgetown trying to put more runs up as they lead it 4-0 here in the bottom of the 6th. Runners on first and second. Howe back in as McGuire toes the rubber. It's the sign and comes set.
Trying to get him call time.
The 0-1 pitch. Howe will take it for a called strike.
He'd throw a flag for delay of game.
And I almost thought Howe would take it. That's one thing that Coach Vieira and this coaching staff do is you're in control. And if you feel like it's long and drag out, take that time, reset, make them reset, And Howell stayed with it. It's an 0-2 count. McGuire look at second base multiple times, and now a throw to second. They've got Grooms in a rundown. The throw to third. Malott will chase him back. And a throw to the second baseman, Peterson, who will tag out Grooms. So that one will go 1-6-5-4 on the pickoff of Hayden Grooms for out number 2. Holly wisely moves up to second base in that rundown. So at least one runner in scoring position with an 0-2 count now with 2 outs to Jaden Howell. McGuire look at second base. The 0-2 pitch to Howell. Howell sends it out towards short. Haslam on a backhand throws across the diamond in time. Nice play there by Kevin Haslam to retire Howell and the Eagles here in the bottom of the 6th. 6-3 on the putout. No runs on 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 runner left on base after 6 complete. Georgetown 4, Hendrickson 0. Georgetown baseball continues on the SHN Sports Network in just a moment.
Royalty, put blame on me. Hate my trend. Word up OG, watch how you talking your tone. What I be on, you cannot make me a clone. You already know T versus T. They testing my character, compared to every white boy in America. I'm doing it different, attacking the limits, won't fit the criteria. Hearing hysteria, saying American, hang around you and your crew's embarrassing. Take that sneak post down, flexing on me is hilarious. Don't take it from me, I put it on work, listen and see where I've been. I am the foretelling by the masses, read by the skull in my saber and pen. Put down the mic and he calling me in, can I receive it, do it for them.
And we're back here. We go to the top of the 7th. Hendrickson Hawks 3 outs away from taking their 2-game loss to the Eagles. Zeke Hernandez in for his 2nd inning of relief work. That was the first pitch called strike to Connor Padilla. The 7-8-9 hitters due up here for the Hawks. 0-1 pitch. There's a nice little breaking pitch. Totally different look out of Zeke Hernandez.
That's what happens when you send a fastball right down the plate and then pull the string on the next pitch.
The 0-2 pitch to Padilla. Down and away for ball 1. 1-2 the count. Zeke Hernandez in his 3rd of an inning, allowed 1 hit. Stranded that on the fly ball by Haslam. Got a check down to first. Said he went around. A strikeout there on the check swing by Padilla. First strikeout for Zeke Hernandez.
The first base may have a reservation at a restaurant a little bit later. Let's get out of here.
He was waiting for them to ask him if that batter went. In steps Pearson DeLeo. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. First pitch on the outside corner for a called strike. 0-1 the count. Strikeout in the 2nd inning. Walk and left stranded in the 5th. Hernandez from the windup. The 0-1 pitch. Foul tip into the glove of Connor Young for strike 2.
He's dealing.
Zeke gets on a roll in that windup. He can be fun to watch. The 0-2 pitch. Skips this one in through the left-handed batter's box for ball 1. 1-2 the count. Next action for Georgetown baseball tomorrow, 11 o'clock, live here at Eagle Field. Come join us. We'll take on the Lehman Lobos in non-district action. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 2 of the inning for Zeke Hernandez.
If you're coming out tomorrow, come early.
Get you a parking spot.
Yep.
The good thing is the parking is not allowed in the baseball field facility at the time of the game. That's why the game's being played early. But that lot across the way by the football field will be full in a hurry. The first pitch here outside for ball 1 to Rhett Peterson, who's 1 for 2 in the ball game.
Yeah, I think the traffic is just going to be ridiculous. So
1-0 pitch misses low. No, it does not miss low.
I thought it was too.
1-1 the count. Nice pitch there by Zeke. Evens it up at
got
1
red-
ball,
Maybe
one
they
strike.
got the same reservation.
Yeah.
The 1-1 pitch from Zeke. Fouled off back to the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count.
Maybe trying to make a run out to Camp right side. Get a meal.
Ooh, it was good last night. What's your show? Come join us. Thursday night, 6:45 start. The 1-2 pitch from Zeke. Couldn't get him to bite on it, and he evens up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, the 2-2 pitch. Ground ball hit into left field, right between the 5-6 hole. Uh-oh. Base hit with 2 outs for Peterson. That's his second hit of the night. So with 2 outs, a base runner for the Hawks, and that'll bring up the top of the lineup in number 18, Braden Borger. Borger hit by a pitch in the first inning, reached on a fielder's choice in the third, and struck out looking in the 5th. Steps in here with 2 outs and a runner on first. Zeke from the stretch, the first pitch outside for ball 1. 9 pitches thrown in that third of an inning for Zeke. Back in the 6th. He works here in the 7th to close this one out. The 1-0 pitch in there. Called strike 1. 1-1 the count. 1-1 to count to Borger. 2 outs. Fluid holds on the runner Peterson at third. The 1-1 pitch. Borger, high chopping ground ball up the middle. Hunter, high up, gets it to Kiki in time, and the ball game is over. What a play there by Jalen Hunter to flip it to Kiki for the out to force out the runner Peterson for out number 3, and the Eagles win it 4-0 over the Hendrickson Hawks. We'll take a quick timeout, and we will go down and visit with Coach Jordan Vieira in just a moment. You're listening to Georgetown Eagle Baseball live here on the SHN Sports Network.
And we welcome you back to Eagle Field. We go down to the field for Wally Harmon interview with
We're
Coach
live here at
Cook
Eagle
there.
Field. Another victory for the Georgetown Eagles, 4-0 over the Hendrickson Hawks, the 2-game sweep. We love to talk about it. Wins are always good to come across, but another pitching performance out of your starter goes to 6 2/3 innings. Yeah. And then Zeke comes in and closes the door. How big is that tonight? Another win, and keep those winning ways going.
Yeah, David did a great job. Gave us a great start. Was able to establish his fastball and be able to spin the break when we need to. Did a really good job being in the zone. We played clean defense behind him, which always helps. And then we were able to scratch the 4, take advantage of some defensive miscues, and then be able to get the hit when we need to.
Pitching like that, McGuire comes in. You don't see a lot of heat off of that arm.
Yeah.
They bring a slower pitcher out. It affects this lineup, but yet they battled in that 4-run inning and taking advantage of some of those errors. How big is that for this team to figure that out, to be prepared for that, to expect maybe see that in the future in this season?
Yeah, it's one of those things where you just got to figure it out, that you got to let it travel and be able to make it be in the zone and be able to be adaptable. And that's one thing our offense has done a pretty good job of for the majority of the year, is being able to continue to be adaptable and figure it out as we go.
Challenger games, 9 o'clock tomorrow.
No, we went ahead and canceled it because of the impending weather. So went ahead and canceled that for the morning. Going to be on the phone with Coach from Lehman tonight and tomorrow morning, and we'll figure out what the game plan is for tomorrow.
Right now, scheduled at 11.
Yes, sir.
And we'll go at that. Watch your social media. Eagle Fight Never Dies Baseball, EFND Baseball on Twitter, your Twitter account as well. And watch all your social medias. Another win for the Georgetown Eagles.
Appreciate you.
12-7-1 on the year. They're 7-1 in district standings. They are in first place of District 23 and take it over Hendrickson 2-0 in their best-of-2 series as the broom comes out at home plate. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock, if nothing changes against the Lehman Lobos, join us live here in the bleachers and join supporting this team. All right, if you can't be here, join us live on the SHN Sports Network. We'll bring you the game action, 10:45 pregame, 11 o'clock first pitch. Thanks for joining us tonight. For Kelly, for Dave, for Jerry Ann, I'm Wally Harmon. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night, and remember, it doesn't cost you a dime to be kind. Have a good night, everybody.